No hesitation. No questions. Just an invitation. I barely glanced in the mirror before heading out my body, already buzzing with anticipation. By the time I stepped up to the familiar door, my breath was steady, my mindset. I reached for the handle, expecting to see him. The door swung open. It wasn't him. The man standing there was younger. It was his son. "Guess I was right about you," he murmured. I met his gaze and stepped inside. "Before we begin, please take a short moment to hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And if you already did, thank you. Watch until the end. I promise you won't be disappointed. Let's jump in." I slid into the back seat of the cabaret, getting settled before he climbed in. After me, the door shut, the city lights flashing through the windows. As we pulled away, his hand found my thigh, immediately warm and firm fingers, pressing just enough to remind me how badly he wanted me. "You can't keep your hands off me for 5 minutes," I teased, has smirked, his grip tightening slightly. "After the way you were looking at me over dinner, you knew exactly what you were doing." I turned toward him, our faces inches apart. What was I doing? His chin slid higher, thumb tracing lazy circles, and my skin testing my patience. I bit my lip, leaning in close, just enough for my breath to warm his. "See, you like it when I do that?" Though, his fingers dug in just a little, enough to make me gasp. "Not as much as I like." "What happens after the driver cleared his throat were too?" He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen a few times, then spoke without taking his eyes off me. "I'll send you the address a second later." The driver's GPS chirped and we started moving. I ran my fingers up his arm, slow and teasing. "Good choice," he exhaled like he'd been holding back all night. The tension crackled between us. The rest of the ride, his hand never leaving my leg, my body buzzing with anticipation. By the time we pulled up to his house, I was already breathless. He tossed a few bills at the driver, didn't even wait for change the second the front door shut. Behind us, he turned to eyes dark, hungry. Finally, and then his lips were on mine. The heat between us hadn't cooled in the cab. It had only grown sharper, heavier. His hands were on me the second the door shut, fingertips tracing over fabric that suddenly felt unbearable. He guided me backward through the dimly lit hallway, his grip firm at my waist. My back met the wall, a quiet gasp slipping from my lips as his breath warmed my neck. His fingers found the zipper of my dress, dragging it down in a slow, deliberate motion. I pressed my palms against his chest, feeling the tension beneath my touch, and tugged to this shirt in return. We barely made it to the bedroom. Hands greedy, mouth urgent, clothing slipping away between hurried movements. By the time my leg hit the edge of the bed, my breath was unsteady, my body humming with anticipation. The door clicked shut, and then there was nothing but heat pressed me into the mattress, lips tracing a path over my skin. His touch, both firm and reverent, arced into him, fingers tangled in his hair, pulling him closer, guiding him. We moved together, slow at first, then faster. Our rhythm, instinctive at some point, is shifted, pressing my hands to his chest, taking control. His fingers tightened on my waist. His breath uneven. He's dark as hell at me lead, but he wasn't done. His lips curved into a knowing smile before he moved, flipping me effortlessly, his hand straced down my back, lingering just long enough to send a shiver through me before pulling me against him again. His movements were deliberate, unrelenting, drawing me deeper into the moment, into him, until everything else faded. The tension coiled sharp and unbearable until it finally shattered, pleasure rippling through me, pulling him along in its wake for a long moment. Neither of us moved, our breaths tangled in the quiet. Then slowly he leaned over, pressing a lingering kiss to my shoulder before pulling me into him. His arm wrapped around my waist, warm, steady, grounding me as the last tremors faded. My heartbeat slowed, but the satisfaction lingered, stretching into the silence. I had no idea what time it was. And for once I didn't care in the morning the coffee was already made when I stepped into the kitchen. I grabbed a mug from the counter, pouring myself a cup, letting the warmth seep into my fingers as I took a slow sip. Didn't think you'd still be here. I turned at the voice mug, still at my lips. He leaned against the doorway, shirtless sweatpants, hanging low on his hips. His smirk was lazy, confident, took knowing for someone I just met. His eyes dragged over me, slow and deliberate. Huh. So you're the one keeping my old man busy these days? I swallowed, lowering the mug. And you must be his son. That obvious. He stepped closer, grabbing his own cup, his voice dropping just slightly. I got to say I expected someone different. I raised a brow. Oh. He took a sip, eyes flicking over my legs bare beneath the hem of the oversized shirt. Yeah. Older, boring his gaze. Met something unreadable behind it, definitely. Not someone who looks this good first thing in the morning. Exhaled a quiet laugh, shaking my head. As I set my cup down. You're bold. I'll give you that bold heed, tilting his head slightly. Or just honest. I held his gaze for a beat longer than I should have, then pushed back my chair. Well, it was nice meeting you, but it should get going. He didn't move, just studied me over the rim of his cup. Shame. I was enjoying the view. I let out Asmal's scoff, but I didn't bother, hiding my smirk as I turned toe. Leave hope I see you again, he called after me. And next time you won't. Be wearing his shirt. I didn't stop. Didn't look back, but I felt his eyes on me the whole way out. The next evening my phone buzzed. Come over same time. No small talk. No build-up, just direct, confident, exactly what. I liked. Less than an hour later, I was stepping out of a cab, smoothing down my dress as I walked up to the familiar front door. But when it swung open, it wasn't him standing there. It was his. Sona, he said, leaning against the doorframe. His smirk lazy, figured you'd show up, raised a brow. Where's your dad? Work emergency, had to leave last. Minute, his voice was smooth. Casual, but there was something smug behind it, like he was waiting to see if I'd take the bait. I let my gaze linger on him, unimpressed. Wow. What are the odds? He didn't even pretend to be. Innocent rights. Islands stretched between us, thick with something unspoken. He didn't move from the doorway. Didn't invite me in, but he wasn't blocking me. Either. I could have left instead. I let out a quiet laugh, shaking my head. You set this up, didn't you? His grin widened. Would it bother you if I did? I stepped past him, brushing against him just enough to make my point. If it did, I wouldn't be here. I heard him exhale a quiet chuckle as he shut the door behind me. Good, he murmured, because I wasn't planning on letting you leave just yet. I turned to face him, tilting my head slightly. Then stop wasting time. His smirk faltered for just a second, like he hadn't expected me to be so direct. He smiled. Then I took another step closer. His hand slid over my waist as I straddled him on the couch, my lips brushing against his soft at first. Then demanding, he leaned, back eyes dark, taking me in. You wanted this too, didn't you? I smirked, running my hands down his chest, nails dragging lightly. What do you think? His breath caught as I shifted, lower my lips, tracing a slow path down his torso. He tensed beneath me, his fingers gripping the cushions, anticipation thick in the air. I took my time, teasing him with light lingering movements, savoring the way his body reacted under my touch. His hands found my hair, fingers tightening, breath growing uneven as I continued, just when sensed him reaching the edge. I pulled away, my lips ghosting over his skin, before sitting back up. His head fell back against the couch, chest rising and falling in uneven breaths. You're playing dangerous games. I smiled, taking his hand and guiding him forward, and you love it, before he could attest. I wrapped my legs around his waist, shifting him lower. His hesitation lasted only a second before he caught on his hands, gliding over my thighs. As his lips pressed against my skin, a sharp gasp escaped me as he worked his way deeper into my senses, his grip firm as he followed my every movement. my fingers tangled in his, hair guiding him, keeping him right where I wanted him. The pressure inside me built, curling, tightening almost too much. And just when I was about to break, I pulled him up by his hair, breathless, leaving no room for hesitation. Sita barely made it back onto the couch before I settled over him once, more my hands pressing into his chest. As I took control, a shudder ran through him, his fingers gripping my waist as he exhaled a low, ragged breath. I moved slowly at first, setting a deliberate rhythm, letting the tension stretch between Ushi's hands flexed against my skin. His restraint fraying as I dictated, the pace savoring every second. Not yet. I murmured, shifting just enough to keep him waiting. His groan was low, his fingers gripping my thighs, barely holding on. Faster, deeper every movement. Sent heat rippling through me, drawing me closer, pulling me under. I pushed us both to the edge, my body tightening, trembling, until finally the pressure shattered, pleasure tearing through me. A deep, throaty groan tore from his lips as he followed his grip on me, turning fierce. As he let go, completely sinking into them, moment one last time. But I wasn't finished. His body was still shuddering beneath me, his muscles slackening, his breathing still uneven. Too soon I slipped lower my lips, tracing a path over, his skin teasing him back. To readiness, he let out a sharp breath. At the first touch, his fingers twitching. In response, "You're going to kill me," he murmured, his voice rough, still, unsteady. I only hummed in response, working him over slowly, effortlessly pulling him back into the moment. It didn't take long, his breath turned dragged again, his grip tightening as he surrendered to the sensation this time. I didn't wait. It turned, bracing my hands on the back of the couch, shifting against him in silent invitation. A low, shaky breath left his lips as his hands settled firmly on my waist, drawing me back toward him. Slow. At first too slow, I pressed back, meeting him, urging him on, and then he lost himself in it. His hold in me tightened, his movements became more urgent, his rhythm steady and commanding. I felt every shiver, every pulse of pleasure as he led me toward another. Release, my fingers curled into the cushions, my breath quick in tension, coiling inside me. "That's it," he murmured, his voice thick, strained. I gasped, the heat swelling inside me, tightening, growing unbearable until it snapped. It huddered beneath his hands, my body trembling, vision hazy, nothing but sensation. Consuming me a second later, I felt him tense behind me, a deep groan, leaving his lips as he let go, and then we heard a creak. The door flew open. Some men would call this wrong. Others wouldn't hesitate. Be honest, would you have let her in? Let me know in the comments. I enjoy reading them, and don't forget to like the video. If you enjoyed the story, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.